U.S. releases identity of helicopter pilot who collided with plane. The U.S. Army said the pilot of the UH-60 that collided with the PSA Airlines plane was Captain Rebecca Loback, who had served as a military assistant at the White House. The U.S. Army said on February 1 that Captain Rebecca Loback, 28, was the lead pilot of the UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter that collided with a PSA Airlines passenger plane near Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport 3 days earlier. Information about Captain Loback was kept secret for many days, while the names of the other 2 crew members were released on January 31. The decision to release the identity was made at the request of the family. The U.S. Army said in a statement, Rebecca Loback, who served in the Army for nearly 6 years, served as a military assistant at the White House under former President Joe Biden and assisted him in many events such as medal ceremonies. At the time of the crash, Captain Loback had 450 hours of flight experience and was in night flight training. Her supervisor was First Lieutenant Andrew Lloyd Eves, 39, a career military officer with more than 1.000 hours of flight experience and responsible for operating the helicopter in an emergency. The third person was Sergeant Ryan O'Hara, 28, a technician sitting in the back of the cockpit. U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth said the UH-60 crew was conducting a routine night flight exercise on the Standard Perimeter for the Maintenance of Government Mission. The Maintenance of Government Mission is the U.S. Army's name for the emergency evacuation plan for senior officials and lawmakers from Washington in emergency situations, including a large-scale attack on the Capitol or a serious security crisis. This is a measure to maintain the country's leadership and administration even in the worst-case scenarios. A PSA Airlines CRJ-700 collided with a U.S. Army UH-60 helicopter as it prepared to land at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport on the evening of January 29. The 2 planes then crashed into the Potomac River. The CRJ-700 was carrying 64 passengers and crew members, while the UH-60 helicopter had 3 servicemen on board, all of whom died. According to Reuters, RT, Russia launched 165 missiles, UAVs into Ukraine, killing 11. Ukrainian officials said Russia launched 42 missiles and 123 UAVs into the country, killing 11 people and damaging energy infrastructure. Ukraine's Interior Ministry said on February 1 that a Russian missile hit an apartment building in the central city of Poltava, killing 7 people and injuring 14, including 3 children, in the attack the night before. Video posted by Ukrainian officials showed the top floors of the building collapsing with thick plumes of smoke rising as firefighters and rescue workers searched through the rubble. Poltava authorities said 18 apartment buildings, a kindergarten and energy infrastructure in the city were damaged by the Russian attack. The mayor of Kharkiv, a city in northeastern Ukraine, said 1 person was killed and 4 were injured in a Russian drone attack. Kharkiv's governor said Russia had launched 6 missiles and 17 Shahd-type drones at gas infrastructure and other facilities in the area. 3 police officers were also killed in the attack while on patrol in a village in the northeastern Sumy province. According to local officials, Russia attacked our cities last night with various weapons, missiles, drones and bombs, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said, adding that the raids caused damage in 6 regions of Ukraine. Each such attack proves that we need more support to protect ourselves. Each air defense system and weapon can save lives, Zelensky stressed. The Ukrainian Air Force later said that Russia had launched a total of 123 Shahd suicide drones or decoys, in addition to 42 missiles, into the country during the attack on the night of January 31. 56 UAVs were shot down by Ukrainian air defenses, while 61 failed to reach their targets. The force said it also destroyed a number of cruise missiles, adding that a large number of Russian missiles failed to hit their targets due to countermeasures taken by the Russians. However, the Ukrainian Air Force admitted that some targets were hit by enemy ballistic missiles, but did not specify. The Russian Defense Ministry said its forces carried out coordinated overnight strikes on gas infrastructure and other energy facilities serving Ukraine's defense industry. The purpose of the strikes has been achieved. All designated targets were hit, the Russian Defense Ministry said, without providing details. The agency said Ukraine also used UAVs to attack targets on Russian territory, with 108 UAVs shot down by Russian air defenses in 24 hours. Since March 2024, Russia has carried out numerous missile and suicide drone attacks on Ukraine's power grid and other energy infrastructure. cutting its neighbor's electricity output by half and forcing it to conduct intermittent power cuts. RT. Moscow Times. Reuters. Russia fines woman for promoting childlessness. Russia has fined a woman in Sevastopol for posting on social media in support of a childless lifestyle. In the first enforcement of a new law, police in the Russian-controlled city of Sevastopol in Crimea on January 31 fined a 29-year-old local woman 50.00 rubles, about $500, for promoting a childless lifestyle on social media. The resident shared antisocial content online, with a stance that advocated a carefree life over having children. Police said, despite recent legal changes, she failed to delete the posts, leading to the fine. Police said, this is the first penalty imposed by Russian authorities under a ban on childlessness promotion, which was passed in November 2024 to boost the country's falling birth rate. The ban could result in fines of up to $4 for individuals and more than $50 for organizations that violate it. The Russian government says the measure is aimed at promoting traditional family values and boosting the birth rate. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov called Russia's low birth rate a catastrophe. Officials have proposed special demographic measures to address the problem. If we want to remain as an ethnic group, we must have at least 2 children. To expand and develop, we need to have at least 3 children, Russian President Vladimir Putin said in 2024. Russia annexed the Crimean Peninsula after a 2014 referendum, a move that Ukraine and the West consider illegal. Ukraine has vowed to reclaim the peninsula at all costs. Russia's State Statistics Service said the country's population as of January 1, 2025, was 146.028.325, down 0.08% year-on-year. The figure does not include the population of 4 regions that Russia annexed from Ukraine in 2022. Kiev has protested Moscow's move, and Russia does not have full control over any of these regions. According to Forbes, Reuters, the drone line is considered Ukraine's night killer. Ukraine is deploying many types of drones that specialize in dropping large-sized explosives at night, aiming to cause damage to Russian forces. Baba Yaga is the general name given by Russian soldiers to Ukraine's multi-rotor unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, that specialize in dropping explosives at night. They usually have 4, 6 or 8 rotors, carry 10 to 20 kilograms of weapons depending on the mission, and can attack targets at a maximum distance of 12 kilometers. One of the popular weapons on the Baba Yaga is the 10 kilograms trademark 62 anti-tank mine, which has been modified to detonate when dropped from the air. Some models can carry 2 TM62 mines, or 2 82 to 120 mm mortar shells. The Baba Yaga is typically suspended in the air to release its warheads. But some videos have also shown it pursuing moving targets, which requires skilled operators. Some drones appear to be equipped with laser-guided bombs, allowing them to hit targets with great precision. However, this option is not common, and the Baba Yaga mainly uses cheaper ammunition. In addition to being used for targeted attacks, the Baba Yaga is also sometimes used to transport supplies to soldiers on the front lines. The Baba Yaga is large and makes a lot of noise, making it easy to detect from a long distance in daylight. This makes this type of drone only effective when deployed at night, and has been dubbed the night killer by the Ukrainian military. The Ukrainian Ministry of Defense last year purchased more than 2,000 Baba Yaga-style drones through official channels, in addition to an unspecified number donated by volunteers and crowdfunding organizations. Each costs about $20, meaning the entire squadron costs about the same as an F-16 fighter. The Baba Yaga crews are typically deployed to the front lines after dark, flying multiple missions each night during combat. However, they are not always safe from Russian reconnaissance. Russian units can determine the location of Ukrainian drone crews by using radio signals emitted by Baba Yagas, or by using light drones to follow Baba Yagas returning to their starting point. If they are slow to maneuver, the Ukrainian crews are exposed to heavy Russian drone or artillery fire. Andrew Perpetua, an open-source intelligence analyst on the Ukraine conflict, believes the Baba Yaga's impact is underestimated. Statistics on Russian military casualties are largely based on open-source analysis sites like Oryx. Based in the Netherlands, they often collect non-duplicated, verifiable images to confirm the damage to personnel and equipment of the warring parties. Perpetua notes that videos of Baba Yaga raids are often shot with thermal cameras from an overhead perspective, making it difficult to determine the type of target and whether the raid was successful. This makes Oryx rarely count the results of Baba Yaga raids, unless there are daytime photos confirming the destruction of the vehicle. The statistical methods of the parties are often highly conservative, inconsistent with the existing videos. Their results will not keep up with the actual data, Perpetua said. In addition to finding countermeasures, the Russian military has also announced several drone models similar to Baba Yaga, leading Ukrainian supporters to see this as an indirect acknowledgement of the effectiveness of this weapon. However, Moscow's Baba Yaga-style drones have not been deployed on the front line. Russian forces still mainly use unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, such as the Lancet, combined with first-person drones and drones with light explosives, and reuse captured Baba Yagas from Ukraine. Many Russian Telegram channels have posted images and videos of Russian soldiers repairing and using Baba Yagas to attack Ukrainian forces, said Samuel Bendit, a drone expert at the US-based Center for Naval Studies, CNA.